Hi, this is me, my language, and my course for my French class. All about me. My name is Robin Reeder, and today is January 7th, 2019, and I am in French, and I am learning this because I've always liked the language since I was really little. It's always been a pretty language to me, and I also had a friend who her and her family all spoke French, and I thought that was like really cool, so I decided to start learning it back then, and now I've decided to continue it. So the first section of the grades for this class are the intro assignments and notebook section. There are a lot of really simple assignments and quizzes that you can and should probably redo until you have 100% on them. The intro module needs to be done first and as soon as possible because it helps you understand the course and makes it so that you are able to access Rosetta Stone, and you have to have it done before you can access the rest of the course. This section also includes 4 language notebook checks. So you have to have an image of the notes labeled from each of the units so that you can tell that you have been taking notes and paying attention. This section is worth 5% of the grade. So a couple helps for this you can find on the course homepage. You can find the steps to getting started doc and a 20-minute orientation recording to help you figure out how to get started on this. There's also Canvas course helps and the examples of the notebook checks so you can figure out what exactly you're supposed to be doing. Something that's important to remember is that anytime you have questions, check for answers on the homepage in Canvas because it's very likely that those have been answered there somewhere. So, something that's really important for you to remember is do not abuse the resubmission policy because it can be revoked. We'll talk about that in just a second. So, for Rosetta Stone, you need to do the right units for your level. There are different levels based on what year and semester you're in, and each level is associated with 4 different units. So, the right units need to be done in order for you to learn the right material for where you're at. So the only things you're going to submit for this section are that you've done the core lessons and the milestones, and you don't need to submit the rest. You're allowed to redo and resubmit these until you get 100%, which it goes along with the last slide. You can resubmit things, but don't abuse it and use it in the wrong way because it can be revoked if you're using it in the wrong way. And this section is worth 75% of your grade. Also, these core lessons and milestones, the actual thing that's submitted is a screenshot of the score you got on those. So some helps for these are, again, on the course homepage. You can find help for reports and screenshots that show you requirements. Examples, there are audio companion files that let you can download them and then you can practice and hear the phrases that you're working on offline. There's also phrase lists for each unit that you can download so you can have notes on the text for all the phrases. There is also audio and speech settings and help, which can show you, like, if your Rosetta Stone is skipping a section, why that might be happening, or just in general how to set up your audio and microphone for doing Rosetta Stone. You can also find the Rosetta Stone support portal there and the phone number if you need help from Rosetta Stone's support. And there's also the Rosetta Stone login link so that you can find the actual Rosetta Stone course. Another big important thing is if you haven't done the assignment yet, do not pretend you did and submit a fake image because that is lying. Student presentations, another section of the grade. You need to keep them level appropriate in grammar, vocabulary, and their simplicity. And don't plagiarize. And don't just use Google Translate to translate English into French, because that goes along with keeping them level appropriate. As long as they are level appropriate, you shouldn't need to use Google, and using Google Translate is considered plagiarizing. You also, on these student presentations, you need to share them with your mentors or give them permission to view them so that they can actually see them and grade them. There are grading rubrics that you need to check for the requirements so you know what you're actually doing. The sources all need to be cited in MLA style, and if you want to, you can go the extra mile to receive extra credit. For example, you can do all the requirements in a written format and then do an audio presentation of it all. And this section is worth 10% of your final grade. Some helps you can find for this are on the course homepage. There is the Student Hall of Fame, as it's called. It's the examples of what other students have done for their presentations, so you can figure out exactly what you're trying to do. There's also helps for citing sources, so that you can know how exactly to cite them in MLA if you need help on that. There's also translating and grammar helps. One final note is remember the introductions and conclusions are about the presentation and not where you send messages to the mentor. Phrases like these do not count as an intro or conclusion. Hope you like my presentation. Bye. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. You need to have an intro or conclusion that contributes to the actual content of your presentation. Now, newsflash, Google search is not a source, so don't list it as one. The sources need to be actual sources like websites, not just, oh, I did a Google search, because that's not normally properly cited and it doesn't count as a source. So, the last section of your grade are the live classes. They are monthly, once a month, and they're required attendance. If you attend it live, if you attend and participate and submit the assignment, you can get 100% on it. If you're more than 10 minutes late, though, you need to watch the recording for what you missed. An excused absence can be gotten if you comment on the assignment with a valid excuse before class starts. You can still get 100% for watching the recording and submitting the assignment if you do that. If you have an unexcused absence or you didn't priorly comment with a valid excuse on the assignment before class started, you can only get up to a 75% for watching the recording and submitting the assignment. If you do miss the class with an unexcused absent and get a 75%, you can make up the additional 25% with a makeup assignment if you would like to. And this section is worth 10% of your final grade. So, on the course homepage, you can find the dates, times, and groups for each live class. You can also find the login class links, and the links to recordings, and the mentors' emails and office links. So, another newsflash is you need to participate in the live classes, or you may be asked for proof that you were there. So, other questions, all questions, check the course homepage because there's a lot of information there, so most likely your question will be answered there. If you can't find it and it's a question about live class or student presentations, contact your specific language mentor. For French, it's Mrs. Barry Portwood. German is Mrs. Cara Danzi. Spanish is Miss Christiana Reed. And all other languages are Mrs. Cara Danzi. All other questions, contact the language program leader, which is Cara Danzi. And make sure you have fun learning.